Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be talking through the round 3 fixtures that have just happened. I'm joined by Chris Coughlin again today. Thanks for coming on. You've debuted on the new set.
Looks lovely, doesn't it? I really like this. I really like all the
photos.
The dedication to the women's game. It's fantastic, really.
Yeah.
It's very, very nice.
It's getting there.
Nice award there, of course, as well.
Oh, you got to plug the award, haven't you? You've got to. Anyway, so group stages are now all wrapped up. We know now who's going to be in the round of 16. Any surprises for you? Do you reckon, or well, it's on the other side of the sheet. But is there anyone that you were thinking, no, I didn't see that happening?
I think when you look at it, the vast majority that you would have said at the start of the tournament have got through. In terms of maybe a team that I thought potentially a bit of a surprise are England's upcoming opponents in Cameroon. I think they've done very well to get through.
I think the African sides like Cameroon, Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think I just call it a shock. I just think they've done their country so proud to be. And there's a video going around of Nigeria celebrating after they found. I think that's amazing. Like how much it must mean to the countries that it doesn't happen every single World Cup for them. Like they're not USA, they're not Japan that tend to be at every single World Cup and get the latter stages. But to even get out the group stages for some countries, as those two, is massive for them.
And with the route through the third place qualification, it for Nigeria, I can't imagine the kind of scenario where you've played all your games and you still don't know whether you've qualified. It's not a case
you're just hanging about in the hotel, aren't you? Like waiting to see whether you're going home the next day or
a few days
playing
after
a game.
As well. That's the thing. It's not even as if it's like the next couple of hours.
Well, that's worth just going through the groups then. I've got a few games I've picked out from the third round to have a chat about to get your view and then to kind of discuss. There was quite a few talking points in this round especially. That kind of has been throughout the whole competition, but this game I think this round, is pulled up some things that maybe people are not too happy about. But either way, so looking at Group A then, France, Norway and Nigeria make it through to the round of 16. I can't remember who's not in it now.
Women's South Korea.
South Korea, that's it. You'll know better than me. So, Group B, you've got Germany, Spain, China and who left out?
South Africa.
See, absolute whiz here. Italy, Australia, Brazil.
And brains working overtime. Jamaica.
Yeah, there we go. I've got no idea. Group D, only 2 of them came through. Obviously, this is England's group. England, Japan. I know Scotland and Argentina. Yes. Didn't make it through. Group E, Netherlands, Canada, Cameroon. Is that New Zealand missing out, which is a massive shock to me.
That's why Cameroon for me stood out.
Yeah.
More than the others, to be honest with you, because they're probably my biggest disappointment. New Zealand really their only goal in the tournament being an own goal as well.
The thing is though, I feel like they really kind of pulled it out the bag against their first game against Canada, wasn't it?
It's Netherlands.
Netherlands,
so many chances to win it.
Yeah.
And then obviously concede that gut-wrenching last-minute winner.
Yeah.
And just they never really got off the ground after that. And as I say, if throughout the tournament your only goal is an own goal, I think it's
a bit unfortunate. And then Group F, USA, Sweden, and obviously Chile and Thailand got this one knocked out. Which I think if you were to say at the start of the tournament in Group F who would qualify, it would have been those two sides, and then third place would always been a bit of an unknown.
But I think for reasons that we'll end up discussing, I think Chile will be going home with a lot of regret today, I reckon. So, in terms of who have been quite dominant, there's 6 teams who top the group winning all 3 games. So that's France, Germany, Italy, England, Netherlands and USA. Yep. So that's quite interesting. I think it's interesting as well that...
Italy didn't lose. No, Italy aren't a part of that. Sorry, my bad. Because Brazil beat them 1-0. Sorry, that's my bad. But France, Germany, England, Netherlands and USA, who all topped the group, all won 3 of their games.
There was a varying degree in how comfortable each were as well. I think
they all weren't completely dominant.
Oh yeah.
I think that's something that says quite a lot about the standard of women's football now.
I think when you look at the USA and the 13-0 game against Thailand, so many people would have thought that's just arguably the best team in the world, flexing their muscle and showing what they're all about, and is there going to be any way of stopping them? But when you've looked at it since, obviously against Chile, 3-0 up by half-time, comfortable in the second half, the Sweden game by no means was easy for them. It was, they got.
It wasn't a walk in the park, was it? No.
They got an early goal in each half, which helped to kind of settle them down and eventually see them through to win the group comfortably. But as I say, by each game, when they came up against more quality opponents in each game, the scorelines went down. So to me, that shows that whilst they are a sensational team, and I'm not debating that whatsoever, there is more competitiveness in this World Cup than you might have thought of against the USA in their first game.
Yeah.
When you look at all the others as well, so say the Netherlands, as I say, 1-0, 2-1, 3-1, again, close-ish games. England, I do think there's more to come from them.
Yeah.
France, apart from their first game, again, working hard, to ultimately
they've got the quality, but
and Germany,
they're a weird one for me.
You have that horrible feeling that they're just doing the typical old German thing of growing into tournaments, considering that against South Africa it was 4, it could have been 8.
Yeah.
Because the goalkeeper for South Africa.
But then the first game they played, they struggled to score and only won it by 1-0. So it's like a. Well, it's weird.
I said when me and Lauren were doing the roundup of the first round of games, that first half against China in their first game was arguably the worst I've ever seen Germany play.
They were really sloppy, which is not like German sides, men or women, is it now?
You have that German efficiency, but then China hitting the post, everything, having chances, and then Germany's kind of getting through that and seeing themselves through because they haven't conceded a goal yet.
I know.
So this, they will be a team that will be strong going forward, and you can never count off the Germans, can you?
I'm really interested to see now what kind of pans out, because group stages is amazing for the teams who are trying to gauge where they're at. Maybe the teams that have only just started having some sort of funding or are kind of behind the charge of the front runners sort of thing. It's amazing for them to get the experience and try and nick a few points here and there against the top sides. But the top sides want to play against the top sides because they want to prove that they're better than them. And I think the round of 16 now, especially, there's some juicy fixtures going into them. I think this is now where we're going to be able to really, really say who are the title contenders, who are the teams that maybe potentially are going to drop off, and who's really going to bring it. Because touching on the USA again, you've seen how amazing they are going forward, but they've not come up against quality opponents that are going to test them at the back. Because for me, at the back, against Sweden last night, they did not look comfortable, but they have against the teams such as Thailand in the first game and Chile as well. So I'm looking forward to now for teams to be tested on both sides. I think England have been tested going forward and defensively. But for teams like the USA, Germany, France, you really, really now want to see them up against sides who can fully attack as well, rather than sit back and defend for their lives like Thailand have done for the USA. So it gets a bit more interesting now, and this is where you're going to see the quality that women's football kind of brings to the table. Yeah,
it's funny you point on the USA there. If I was to kind of compare a men's equivalent, if you like, you look at, say, PSG in the French league.
Yeah.
Favourites obviously every year winning it, but then when they go into the Champions League, there is a very different kettle of fish where when they come up against teams that do have more quality going forward, they have been found wanting in recent seasons.
Yeah.
So that will be very interesting with the USA when they come up against, as is potentially likely, France in the quarterfinal. Yeah. Funny on France, by the way, because obviously the last 16 games against Brazil, every tournament I find that you'll get maybe one team that kind of lets their guard down in the group stages, because Brazil, they'll be looking at that thinking we should have won that group. 2-0 up against Australia. No real right to lose that game, if that makes sense.
They're better quality than that.
Better quality, especially at 2-0 up.
Yeah.
And now they've got a very...
difficult.
It's a very difficult game against France, which could... it's a game that you would put at a quarterfinal. It's a game you put at a semi-final, final. It's not a game that you would put at a last 16 stage. But that is because they let their guard down. And Alternatively, again, you could say that Australia, that game, if you analyse it right down to the bare bones, could have had such an impact on the teams coming through. Because if, say, Brazil win that game, Australia, do they even qualify? And who else comes through?
It was all very tight in that group, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And for England against Cameroon, I think we'll touch on this as well when we preview the last 16 games for England against Cameroon. If I'm being brutally honest, I would have preferred Chile if I had the choice between Cameroon and Chile. Because if you look at the group stage games alone, Cameroon showed they can cause problems.
They can
in every game, they can cause problems. So I think it gives Phil Neville a bit more to think about, but nevertheless, England should be.
You would have thought so. I think they'd be very disappointed if they don't win that game. So I'm going to slightly just pick up on a few games. We spoke about Cameroon and coming over New Zealand. Scotland-Argentina was a big one, and this has caused a lot of controversy. I think a lot is even probably an understatement in this circumstance. VAR. Yeah. Lauren and Tom spoke about it on the roundup last week, so I don't think we should go too in-depth into it, but is it getting to the stage now where it's actually causing a problem rather than being a benefit to the game?
My understanding of VAR when it was brought in was that it's being used for clear and obvious error. Yeah? Clear and obvious error. What it is being used for at this tournament is nitpicking.
Yeah.
And it's the little minute errors that anyone can make. Anyone can make with TV, not with TV, because even if you look at the replay of Alexander, to me it looks like her foot is like kind of hovering over the line.
It's millimetres. So it's not like it's half a metre away from the line.
It's not clear and obvious. That's and that's what I think. If going forward in the game, that it's being used for these little bits of nitpicking, I think that completely defeats the point of why we want VAR in. VAR is for someone that's 5 yards offside. It's not for someone...
For penalty decisions, I think VAR is helpful.
Yeah.
But like if another example is USA-Sweden last night. If if the player doesn't actually touch the ball but affects play, but it looked like Carly Lloyd was affecting the play when the ball came in and they didn't give it, and it was the goal still standard from Tobin Heath, or is it an own goal? I think it came off the defender.
Yeah.
But the problem I have is it's not being... I don't know what the word is, it's completely gone mad, but it's not being used solidly again and again. Some it's given, some it's not. Like Sam Kerr's goal was given, Tobin Heath's goal was given, but there was one other goal which wasn't given. So it's like, where's the consistency?
Well, I maybe this is the ultimate form of nitpicking, but if you're on the pitch, I don't understand how you're not interfering with play, because you are on the pitch. Someone therefore has looking at you for attention.
I don't. But is there a clear line between VAR's the problem, or is it the rules that are the problem? Because VAR surely are only enforcing those rules, and the rule is you've got to keep your foot on the line for a goal kick. You can't be interfering with play if your arm's in an unnatural position. Is it the rules that need refining, or it's so difficult because it could be a mixture of both, and it well might be.
I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball at you here, because I am maybe controversially, I am more angry at the France penalty than the Argentina one, because it goes wide. Keeper doesn't save it.
Yeah.
So why is
she's not interfering?
The keeper therefore has not stopped the ball going in. Why does it then have to be retaken?
I know. But then even the second penalty, the player encroachment onto the pitch. So this is an endless circle.
All of a sudden you're punishing the goalkeeper for encroachment, but then when attacking players encroach, then you're not stopping it. So where's the line? There's no consistency. And what I feel a little bit, because I was thinking about this last night when I was assessing all this, is the Women's World Cup kind of being used as seeing how this goes?
As a template sort of thing.
As a template. Is it unjustly being used as a template? Whereas, say, pre-season, pre-season's starts in like 2 weeks. what about you then start to implement these kind of rules and test how they work? Because I just think there's so much being talked about, almost to farcical levels. Is the Women's World Cup being unjustly treated by being the template for these kind of rules to be brought in?
It's difficult. I don't know whether it's just this time point in history that VAR is becoming, it's evolving and it's becoming more seen. I don't know whether it's just they've taken this opportunity as VARs can now come into play, let's use it. I was quite surprised that they were going to use it at the World Cup because they're miles away from using it off in the WSL. They're miles away off using it in the American leagues. Yeah. So I thought it was a bit strange in itself that it was coming into this major tournament. But the problem is women's football needs to be promoted as it is, but VAR is really not helping that. It's really not. It's putting in the spotlight things that don't deserve to be. It's not putting in the worldy goals or worldy saves that are happening. It's putting in VAR, stop this penalty from happening. You're not seeing the good things about women's football. You're seeing the parts that are still evolving, and that's due to not even the actual talent within the women's football pool of players. It's within the technology that's being used alongside it, and that's the problem I have with it. I think that's the thing that needs to kind of get kind of squashed, so we can just enjoy teams celebrating, enjoy teams progressing, and enjoy the football.
Being able, because there's a kind of fear coming in about, dare you celebrate a goal?
Yeah.
And
penalty check. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they just take so long. Alternatively, in terms of if
there has been some correct calls from VAR. There has been.
Say in the Netherlands, Canada, first minute, referee gives a pen, goes and checks VAR, correctly brings it back, and gives a free kick outside the box.
Yeah.
So in those kind of examples, it's good. But then there was one the other day, Italy, Brazil. Now, I don't know what your opinion about this is. For me, that's not even a free kick outside the box. I saw that. She points to the spot, and
it's just bizarre.
I was absolutely stunned that did not even go to VAR, because it's not a penalty. It's not even a free kick. That is just a good old little challenge together. Stronger player came out on top.
But that's what you want to see. You want to see players putting their body on the line for their team. You're in a World Cup.
Not every little bit of contact is a penalty. I could, and then because the whole point of VAR is maybe having a look at that and then deciding, oh, that's not a penalty. But I just.
Yeah, well, we're going to get frustrated, so let's move on. Yeah. So just to sort of finish off then, we're not going to make it too long, but looking now, fixtures that are coming up in the next round, I think there's a couple of meaty and juicy games going on. France-Brazil's catching my eye, definitely. Yeah. I think, obviously, it's worth keeping an eye on Norway, Australia, because if England progress through Cameroon, which we are hoping that they will, out of those two is who we're going to be facing.
I have to say, fair play to Norway for doing as much as they have without this.
They were phenomenal against. Is it France they played against, and they were phenomenal? Yeah, unreal.
And against in the first game against Nigeria as well. I thought they were absolutely, and obviously we all want.
They do get a bit overshadowed by the fact she's not there, but then they've still got world-class players, whether she's there or not. So they've done a really good job there.
So,
and I think I could not tell you who's going to win Norway, Australia. No, I could not tell you.
They won't like that either, because in Australia's first game, I thought they were very disappointing. I thought Italy could have won by 3 or 4. I know they only got a last minute winner, but in terms of the chances that they missed, the goals that were disallowed, they could have won by several more. Yeah. Norway, it's one of them. It's a juicy one, even though it's not between two titans.
It's just two good football teams.
Two good teams that have quality.
Are on the same kind of level as well. And you can't. I love football games where you can't pick a winner, because at the end you're like, oh my gosh, that's exciting to see something you weren't expecting.
And Sam Kerr as well. After the first round of games, you could have been arguing or forgiven for saying, is the race for the Golden Boot now over? But obviously Alex Morgan goes 2 games without scoring. Sam Kerr's now level with her.
I think she's a phenomenal player, and I praised her so much coming into this tournament.
I think she's on 4 actually, because the goal against Brazil he got given as the player the
cross in,
the cross in. So she'll be chasing up Alex Morgan as well, and then
they have got the quality. Both sides have the quality to score goals. I think that'll depend on who gambles enough, who goes forward enough, and who doesn't hold it all back.
I think that's something. When I looked at these results as well, I think it was quite close early in the tournament, quite caged, just because you don't want to blow your chances in the first game, do you? But because of this,
apart from USA,
true. Because of like the third place qualification from the groups, I think that enabled teams to just kind of go for it. Yeah. In the third round of games, and I say we had some fantastic games, but it's really set up some really intriguing encounters. It's
interesting how it's fallen as well, because this is all hypothetically depending on results, but France could potentially face USA in the quarterfinals. I think that's massive, and I seen that on the little graphic they've got of all the teams and the route that they could take. That's crazy, and then on the same side, Netherlands could potentially face Germany in the semi-final.
Well, Netherlands-Germany is a huge rivalry, whatever sport you go into.
There's going to be some big upsets.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a very interesting final, I think.
Because when you look at it, you could, maybe it's a bit narrow-minded to say that maybe Germany or Japan, if they continue to get their act together. But again, Japan-Netherlands is a colossal encounter, really.
Well, if England had come second in their group, they would have been facing the Netherlands. So that's it's just a lot of good football that's going to be coming our way to watch.
Yeah. I mean, the Cameroon is a favourable game for the last 16, but then, as you say, when Norway or Australia, is that favourable, or is it just a really good test against a very good side? And then
every game from now on is going to be a test for any team, no matter who you are or how high you are in the rankings. It's going to be a massive game no matter what. It's the final 16. It's knockout. You don't have another chance. So
after 2015 and after the standards that were set, I think semi-final the girls will be looking for that. But bring on the knockout stages. That's what we live for.
It's amazing. Anyway, we'll kind of leave it there. I think that was a good discussion of what is to come in the final. I just can't wait for the football that we're going to be watching. But yeah, definitely.
It literally doesn't end this year.
I know.
Football just does not end.
Not a break. And the WSL season will start before you know it as well. But yeah, definitely let us know if you like this video. Leave a comment down below. Let us know who you think we should be looking out for in the final 16. And let us know your opinion on VAR, because we had a bit of discussion about that. I think everyone's very cross-roading on the whole VAR situation, so definitely let us know. But make sure you subscribe and go and check out our England build-up to Cameroon that we are going to be filming after this. But yeah, thanks for joining us, Chris, and we'll see you next time with another video.